Hello everybody, welcome to the Oracle of the Central Sun. I am Michelle. This video today is about the new moon at the end of Sagittarius. This is happening where I'm at in Cape Town at 3:42 a.m. in the morning, and it is happening at 28 degrees 24 minutes of Sagittarius. That's on the 20th of December. So depending on your time zone, this new moon may fall on either the 19th or the 20th of December. So adjust for your time zone, please. So this is quite a new moon because it falls so close to the end of Sagittarius. And we have the ruler of this new moon, Jupiter, still retrograde in Cancer. So as per a lot of what I've said lately, there really are a lot of things coming to an end. And this is not necessarily, how can I say, positive aspects of your life that are going to come to an end. This is more about cycles and belief systems and things that no longer serve us, that we have transcended, that are coming to an end. And because in these last few cycles, and also with Neptune and Saturn being at the very end of the zodiac, in the last 5 degrees of Pisces, we really are dealing with long-term cycles that are coming to an end. So what I've seen in my own life and in the lives of my clients is that, a Neptune cycle is so long. It takes about 165 years around the zodiac. So in your lifetime, you only really track it maybe through half or a bit more. But with Saturn, there's definitely like a 29-30 year cycle here that is coming to an end. And when Saturn and Neptune are both in Aries from the start of next year, from Neptune from the end of January and Saturn from February, there is going to be a feeling of energies completely changing. We already had a taste of this earlier in this year when Saturn and Neptune both moved into Aries. And I know for myself, I experienced quite a nice, fresh, new energy. And it definitely shifted when they retrograded back, and especially when they retrograded back into Pisces. So there was some unfinished business there that we needed to deal with. That is very much part of this new moon because of the aspect that Saturn and Neptune are making to the Sun and the Moon in Sagittarius. So still a very big time of cycles ending, and this is really, really significant in the sense that because we are dealing with Saturn and Neptune, these can be things that are really boundless, that are to do with lifetimes and lifetimes of cycles where we work through things that can come to an end right now. So for myself, I've been going through some really challenging transits, barely holding on and still alive to tell the tale. But yes, there are a fresh energy will come in January, February next year, and even more so when Uranus also changes into Gemini again at the end of April. So back to this new moon. So it's at 28 degrees of Sagittarius, and the ruler of this new moon is Jupiter. Now Jupiter is still retrograde, which means that we are still revising our belief systems and our life philosophy in Cancer around family dynamics, around nurturing, around how we love, how we deal with family. All of these things are being revised and reworked. And this new moon is very powerful because the Jupiter retrograde is squaring Chiron at 22 degrees of Aries. So Jupiter is at 22 Cancer, Chiron is at 22 Aries, and they are both retrograde. So there are really very deep things that we can be working through at this time. Because Chiron also deals with some aspect of our life that can, excuse me, that we may be dealing with in terms of something that walks with us through this lifetime that we are continuously working on to heal and refine and let go. And that can sound heavy, but it is a beautiful thing that we get this opportunity to work on something so deeply in one lifetime. So really embrace this healing, because between Chiron being in Aries, it's all about our own uniqueness and our own sovereignty and how we stand on our own and how we stand for ourselves. And then Jupiter being in Cancer, and this is all about nurturing and family dynamics. It's about the feminine and relating to feminine aspects of our lives, and also ancestry and all of these things. So there can be such a deep healing, and also things that we may have walked with for a very long time that can shift at this time. So for this specific aspect in this new moon chart, the Jupiter retrograde squaring Chiron retrograde, the card I received for this is the World. And this is beautiful because this speaks to what I just said. It is about the completion of one cycle, the start of a new cycle, and it is also about integration. So we are really integrating those aspects of how we are sovereign and integrated in ourselves, and how we then relate back to family dynamics, and other nurturing relationships in our lives. So this is a beautiful card to show up for this aspect, and a beautiful new energy, because the World card also shows us that we have all the elements inside us. And so this really points to that integration of being whole in ourselves. So this is a beautiful part of this new moon. And then the second aspect that I want to talk to with regards to this new moon is that the new moon, so the sun and the moon at 28 of Sagittarius, they are squaring Neptune and Saturn in Pisces. Now, Neptune is at 29 Pisces and Saturn is at 25 degrees of Pisces. And as I've said before, Neptune and Saturn can sometimes feel like two such contradictory energies. And sometimes we don't know which one of them actually brings us reality, because Neptune is that expansive cosmic consciousness, and yet we are living in this physical world where we are dealing with physical reality as it relates to Saturn. So there's also an integration here. And remember, with a square can be a little bit more of a tense experience because the energies that are trying to integrate are not flowing harmoniously together, but yet they are helping us to grow and evolve and integrate things by bringing some tension into our lives. So for the Sun and Moon squaring Saturn and Neptune, the Sun and Moon are at 28 degrees, so they're already separating from squaring Saturn, even though they are still in a 3-degree range. So I would say the square to Neptune here is a little bit stronger. So with this, there's a definite leaning towards bringing that physical world, bringing our dreams and things into reality, and then taking those energies to Neptune at 29 degrees and really allowing us to find a cosmic expansion with what we want to create in our lives right now. And the card that I received for Sun and Moon squaring Neptune and Saturn in Pisces is the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups is about choices. You can see this person in this card is looking at a lot of options. But for this specific new moon, what I see for this card is, yes, opportunities and choices, but it's all about us letting go of wishful thinking. Because the beautiful aspect of Neptune is that it brings us into our imagination. But sometimes we get carried away and we're walking in the clouds. And this new moon to me is a specific part of our charts where we are ending that wishful thinking and we are actually bringing our dreams into reality and dealing with the concreteness of what we can really create with this energy. And then the third aspect that I want to talk about in this new moon chart is an ongoing aspect that we've had for at least half this year already, and that is Neptune at 29 Pisces, that is sextiling Uranus now at 29 of Taurus. And these two have been walking together for a while. They were also walking together when they were at the beginning of Aries and the beginning of Gemini. But this is now also, because they're back into the previous signs, this is also about old cycles ending. And the card I received for this is the Tower card, which is always so apt for things to do with Uranus because it's all about sudden change. So this energy with this new moon is about change. It is about things being revealed to us. Uranus aspecting Neptune, also those illusions and wishful thinking falling away, revelations coming to us, and we are now being able to awaken to a new way of being. So overall, for these three cards, the theme that I want to bring to this is clarity and the end of feeling wishy-washy in a certain aspect of your life. So I'm going to share the I Ching guidance that I got for this new moon, and then I'm going to go into the 12 rising signs because I feel this is such an important new moon for an ending of a cycle and starting anew, that I wanted to tell you where you are ending that wishy-washy and stepping into clarity. in your chart. So the hexagram that I received for this new moon is hexagram number 60, and it's called Knowing Your Limitations. And I'm reading again from the Little Book of Changes by Peter Crisp. I love how it's just very succinct in how it describes these hexagrams. So it says, with no boundaries, the lake would be a swamp. Without its banks, the river could not flow. You, like a body of water, clearly defined, self-contained, and content. Establish your boundaries, set limits, work out a budget and stick to it. Make a line in the sand and do not cross the line. By rising to the little challenges of living simply, you can enjoy the enormous satisfaction of simply living. I absolutely love this because this really speaks to that healing that we are getting with Saturn and Chiron. And it also speaks to that limitlessness that we're getting with Neptune, and also the boundaries that we are getting from Saturn. So I love this guidance. So I'll bring this setting of boundaries also into the when I'm talking about the rising signs right now. So for Aries rising, this new moon is falling for you in your 9th house. So there's something in the 9th house where you need to set your boundary about in order to get clarity. And this could be somewhere in your spiritual life. It can be something about a teacher or teachings or being a teacher. A boundary set to actually set you free and gaining clarity. This could be around how you relate to other cultures and other countries. And this new moon is going to bring you some kind of clarity that is going to allow you to walk forward in a completely new way. And then for Taurus rising, this new moon falls for you in your 8th house. Now the 8th house is a bit more of a liminal space where we are dealing with sometimes unconscious things. We are dealing with death and rebirth, and we are dealing with things that we share with others. It is the 8th house is the house of give and take. And so there's something here in the 8th house for you, Taurus, where you need to set a new boundary in order to gain clarity, in order to end the wishy-washy aspect of giving and receiving from others. And, for Gemini, this new moon falls for you in your 7th house. So Gemini, there's something here for you where you need to set a boundary in relation to your close relationships. Is there something there, Gemini, that has been feeling a bit wishy-washy, that made you feel very unclear, that you now need to set a boundary around going forward in order to walk in clarity, in order to be clear around what certain relationships mean to you, where you would like them to go, and let go of whatever felt unclear to you before. And for Cancer rising, this new moon falls for you in your 6th house. Now the 6th house is the house of work. It is about your daily habits. It's about your health and your health habits and your practical schedule of how you live your life every day. So for Cancer, there's something here where you need to set a boundary. It could be around your eating, it could be around your health habits, it could be around your schedule, being too busy, or maybe not being busy enough. And setting that boundary is going to bring you clarity to walk forward in a completely new way. And for Leo risings, this new moon falls for you in your 5th house. And the 5th house is the house of joy. It is the house of your hobbies, those things that you love doing. Those things may have felt very unclear and wishy-washy. This is also the house of romance and love. So there's something here for you, Leo, where you need to set a boundary. Get clear on what is important for you. Get clear on the fact that you need joy in your life. You need joyful experiences to be who you are, to be a Leo, to be that person that you want to be. And when you set your boundary, you will be able to walk forward in a completely new way. And for Virgo risings, this new moon is falling for you in your 4th house. The 4th house is about your living situation, your physical home, how much you feel at home just being on this planet. It's about family and ancestry. So Virgo, there's something here for you where you need to investigate where a boundary is needed. It might be around give and take with family members. It might be around where you live. Maybe you are not living in a happy situation, and a boundary needs to be set in order for you to physically move to a different place. So discover this boundary for yourself. This would already have been bubbling up from underneath, and get your clarity and move forward in a completely new way. And for Libra rising, this new moon is falling for you in your 3rd house. The 3rd house is all about communication. It's about learning. It's about your mind. It can also be about your siblings and your extended family. So Libra, there's a place here for you with all of those things I mentioned where you need a new boundary. Set your boundary, think about what it is, and find your clarity in order to move forward in a completely new way. And for Scorpio, this new moon falls for you in your 2nd house. The 2nd house is all about resources. It is about money. It is about your internal skills and resources that you bring to the world. And for a while now, Scorpio, this might have been a place that felt really wishy-washy and unclear. So with this new moon, you are going to find a boundary that will actually help you expand and move forward in a much clearer way in terms of your resources and your skills and what you bring to the world. And for Sagittarius, of course, this new moon falls for you in your 1st house. And this is all about your body. It is about who you are as a person. So Sagittarius, you may have been feeling unclear about who you are. You may have been feeling unclear about how you dress, what you want to eat, who you are in the world. And so this new moon could bring you such a beautiful new boundary of a sudden realization of this is who I am now, and setting a boundary with others around you as to who you are now is going to help you to really move forward in a beautiful new way. And for Capricorn rising, this new moon is falling for you in your 12th house. And the 12th house is all about those things that are subconscious to us. It is about belief systems and unconscious ways that we operate in. So Capricorn, the 12th house is often about those places where we unconsciously sabotage ourselves. And this new moon for Capricorn is going to bring a clarity around how you used to sabotage, and now by setting a boundary internally for yourself, you're going to be able to walk forward in a completely new way. And for Aquarius rising, this new moon is falling for you in your 11th house. And the 11th house is the house of your wishes and your dreams. It's about groups of friends and benefactors, people that come and show up in your life, like a mentor or a helper, or just a friend that really guides you and opens your eyes to life in a totally new way. So for Aquarius, you may have been feeling unclear for a while now and really wishy-washy about which groups you belong to, where you belong in the world, and even your hopes, dreams, and wishes. So this new moon is going to bring you a part of your life where if you set a new boundary with this, you're going to be much clearer as to where you belong, who you want to hang out with, and what your hopes and dreams are for the future. And then for Pisces rising, this new moon is falling for you in your 10th house. The 10th house is all about how you are seen publicly. It is about your career. So for Pisces, there's something here in your career part of your life, how people see you. It could have been feeling wishy-washy for a while now and very unclear. And with this new moon, something will come up that will allow you to set a boundary in this career and public life part of your chart that will really help you to be crystal clear, to know where you are going, and set boundaries with those around you to respect your new direction. So the last thing I want to leave you with is I worked with a collective affirmation or declaration that is powerful for the collective at this time. And the affirmation is, I am imbued with the innate power to change my life. So we can relate this affirmation maybe to the boundary that we need to set, because it can be as simple as, often, you hear the analogy of a big ship in the ocean. Like a very, very small correction takes the ship at the end of the day in a completely new direction. And I feel that is what this new moon is talking about and pointing towards, is that there's that one place where we can make a small change and set a small boundary that is going to change the position of where you are going completely. Thank you so much for being here. I love making these new moon and full moon videos. I still have my special right now on my 2026 personal horoscopes. You get a 1 hour in-depth video and audio recording, and they are at 15% off right now. The link to book is below. Get in touch if you would like your personal reading for 2026, and I will see you again next time.